Today I wanted to share something about heat transfer technique. So what is it in soap making? You may have seen in some of my previous videos that I use this technique in order to melt my hard oils and butters. So basically in this technique I use the heat from lye solution in order to melt my oils. Instead of pre-melting the oils in microwave or in a double boiler, I use the heat from the hot lye solution in order to melt the oils. So this is called heat transfer technique. It can save electricity and gas energy. However, it may take time in order to melt all our oils using the heat from lye solution. So it may take a few minutes until you melt all the oils after mixing for a few minutes. And then after everything is melted, then you start a stick blending. This is a technique that I use only when I'm using a small percentage of hard oils and butters. So for example, if my recipe has a small amount of coconut oil, palm oil and shea butter, then yes, definitely this is a technique that I will consider, because the heat from lye solution should be enough in order to melt all my oils. I do not want any unmelted chunk of fat in my soap bar. If heat transfer method is not able to fully melt our hard oils, then if there are some unmelted chunks of fats in the soap bar, this is something that we call a steric spot. So some white creamy spots in the final bar of soaps, which is not aesthetically appealing. It may not impact the performance and the quality of the soap, but it just shows that the oils are not fully melted. Probably the heat from lye solution was not enough in order to melt all our oils and butters. When we pre-melt our oils using double boiler or microwave, you see that there is no cloudiness in the oil. Everything is fully melted. It's kind of like a transparent liquid. However, when we use heat transfer method, then the heat from lye solution sometimes may not be enough in order to melt all our oils, and it may leave some unmelted chunks of butters. So that's why I just use this technique when I'm using a small percentage of hard oils. And especially it depends on the setting that we are working in. For example, if it is a cold winter day, the heat from lye solution may not be enough to melt all my oil. So in that case, pre-melting in microwave or double boiler might be the better option. Or as I said, if we are using high percentage of hard oils, then pre-melting them instead of using heat transfer method might be the better option. So that was something I wanted to share based on my own personal experience. I hope you find it useful, and if you have any similar experience, feel free to share them in the comments.